So I am here to tell you about my January reads. The first book I read of this year was Variation by Rebecca Yarros. I think she is my favorite romance novel. Author? Whatever. Love her romance books. But Variation I gave 4 stars. The second book I read was The Gift by Freida McFadden. I gave that 2 stars. It was a short story, and to be completely honest, I need a Freida McFadden break because I read The Boyfriend in November, and then I read The Gift, and I'm just sick of her making the female leads have no common sense. So the third book I read was The Women by Kristen Hanna. I gave that 5 stars. And what's crazy is I don't even like history. So every time I saw historical fiction, I was like, no, can't do it. And I finally caved and I read it and I thought it was amazing. Highly would recommend it. The fourth book I read was Daydream by Hannah Grace. And I read that only because I read Icebreaker and Wildfire. And I was like, I just want to finish it or whatever. I gave that one 3.5 stars. I love a good romance. I feel like this one didn't have like a plot though. The fourth book I read was The Last Mrs. Parrish, and that's my book club book. I gave it 3 stars. So the first part of it, because it's in 3 parts, when I started the book, I didn't even know that. So the first part was boring. I was bored. The second part, as soon as I started the second part, I knew it's like everything that I read over the last couple of days, that's how long it took me to do the first part. I knew what was going to happen in the second part. And then the third part kind of like wrapped it up, which I kind of like liked. But I felt like it was like a book I read already. This one I actually finished on the 1st, but I started it in January. So I'm going to include it in January. It's Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. That I gave 5 stars. It was so good. And this book started. And when I was reading it, I was like, what is going on? If we are here in the beginning of the book, where is this going? So just know that. And there's triggers in that one. So yes, be prepared for that. So yeah, that's my January book reads. If you have any recommendations, I would love to put them on my TBR. I love reading, so if you got some good ones, drop them. Just not fantasy, because your girl's not there yet. See you next month.